Now, quickly, if you are under spiritual attack, obviously you would want to know what are the signs. So let me help you out here, because to give you a list of things to look out for is not going to be exhaustive, because there are so many areas in which the enemy can attack you. What I want you to think is not so much in terms of list, but is to understand the word of God, and to be able to align your life with the word of God. What does God have to say about your life? And based on what is you're seeing, the manifestation, is it in line or out of line? And if it's out of line, that is usually a sign that you are under attack. Let me explain for you. Right now, sickness is usually one of the biggest one. Now, if you're under sickness, if you're a sickness in your body, that is usually a sign that you're under attack. Because if you go back in the Old Testament, God actually promised Israel perfect health. In other words, if they did not sin, they didn't go to idolatry, they didn't go into witchcraft, they didn't rebel, they didn't break the commandments, there was no sickness that would have come upon Israel. That is in the book of Deuteronomy. So when Israel sinned, when they went into idolatry, when they went into witchcraft, then they rebelled against the word of God, sickness came upon them. But that is because of their rebellion. So when the consequences of sin is really the enemy attacking us, whenever we are not in line with the word of God, our doors are open for attacks of the enemy. And a very good example of this is in the book of Numbers, around 24 or 23 to Numbers chapter 23 to about chapter 25, with the story of Balaam and Balak. So Balak, which should have been the king of Moab at the time, saw the children of Israel where they were going through the wilderness, and he was afraid of them. Now, God didn't give any commandment to trouble the Moabites, but he didn't know, he didn't care. He just wanted to get rid of them. And because he heard of what they had done to the other kingdoms, and he knew he couldn't manage them, what he did, he hired Balak to come and curse the children of Israel so that they could be destroyed. Now, many persons misunderstand this. Balaam rather, was not someone in witchcraft. He was not working voodoo or hobia or whatever the terminology you want to call it. Balaam was really a prophet of God, but he was just a Gentile prophet. The problem with Balaam was that he loved the reward of iniquity. So, in other words, he was willing to do whatever it takes to get money. And that was his issue. So, when he tried to curse the children of Israel, um, God refused to curse the children of Israel, and he turned the curse into a blessing. And many persons say, okay, see, who God bless, no man curse. But the reality is, the reason why he could not curse them, God actually told him. He said, I have not beheld iniquity in Jacob, neither have I seen perverseness in Israel. And I'm paraphrasing that. But it was really because there was no sin involved. And what happened was, in Numbers chapter 25, Balaam, having understood this, what he did, he instructed the king of Moab to go and entice the men of Israel to eat the sacrifices that they offered up unto their God, their idols, and to get them involved in the sexual immorality. And because of that, God turned around and destroyed them. Now, if you read the Numbers 25, this says, the children of Israel committed iniquity with the Moabites. They eat the sacrifice, and they rose up and play. But it's actually in the book of Revelation that is revealed that it was Balaam that instructed the king of Balak. Now here, the king of Moab. So the thing is that you have to understand, a list is not so much exhaustive of what are the signs. you have to look at different areas like your health. What does God speak about your health? You know, uh, God doesn't want you to be sick, so clearly it's not. You shouldn't be sick. So if you're under sickness, it means the enemy is attacking you. God want to provide for you. But if you're finding that you're struggling, it usually means that the enemy is attacking your finances. If you got your marriage and you recognize that there's a constant war and there's no peace, there's division in the house, you're on the brink of divorce. That is not of God. God said He hates divorce. He doesn't want that to happen. If you recognize that maybe you can't have children, you can't bear children, or if you get pregnant, you tend to have miscarriages. That's another sign of attack. So you have to look at the various areas in your life and see how they lined up with the word of God, and that usually is the attack of the enemy. Bible says the devil come not but to kill, to steal, and destroy. So think about your life. What is he stealing? What is he killing? What is he destroying? Then you can identify where the enemy is attacking you.